Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Lords of the Night. With me, as always, is the Lord of Pain, Ranting Monkey,
Hello.
and the Lord of Pennies, Satsu 2 cents.
Hello.
And I'm your host, Scribe Light, the Lord of Punishment.
Dun, dun, dun.
We need to get
Hello.
a soundboard to like do some type of ominous shit every time at the end of that.
Yeah, like I've got balls of steel. Hello, chat. Hello, everyone. Oh, I see a Weebo in the chat. A wild Weebo has appeared. My hand is shaky, and I don't know why. I think I'm dying again, or it's just muscle memory from rubbing one out before the stream started.
You think you're dying again? You died already?
Well, Weebo Jones is actually Jesus.
Oh, hey, Jesus.
Yeah.
Well,
Hey,
she's
Jesus,
on
Weebo Jesus.
She's on the edge of death like every day, right?
Yeah. So how are you guys doing tonight?
I am very, very, very well, although my body still hates me.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody today, and I don't know if they want me to name them, so I'm not going to unless they tell me to, was nice enough to gift me Far Cry 5. And waking up to that news was like Christmas and my birthday at the same time. And so I've had a very good day.
You didn't have to use your AK.
Didn't have to use my AK today.
Until you get into Far Cry 5, that is.
And then I will.
You will. Well, congratulations to Monkey, and thank you to the mystery person who was so generous.
They had two conditions.
Yes.
They said I have to enjoy the game and that I have to play co-op with Satsu, which both will happen.
Yay. And how are you, Satsu?
I'm good. I had a pretty good day. Nothing bad happened. I just found out that four of my favorite anime have all like continued their new seasons like within the past 3 days, and I'm just like, fuck yes.
Mm-hmm. It's
so
the simple thing.
I am good.
Cool. Nothing really interesting happened today for me, I guess. I'm trying to think, but nothing happens.
I also had a lot of fun fucking around on not Facebook, Twitter today, because there were assholes everywhere.
There was a lot of stuff going on today, Twitter-wise, that I saw, and I'm sure we'll get into that. Twitter drama is kind of an extension of YouTube drama. I'm sure we'll talk about it when we get there. Apparently the one-ton hammer has been very active in the last several hours.
Yeah. And if we run out of deep topic stuff, we'll get into part of that too.
Sure. Let's see. Anything to cover before we get into the schnuzzles?
Nothing that. Oh yeah. Real quick. When my wife gets home, because I haven't seen her since yesterday morning, I will take a couple minutes to go hug on her. So
Yay.
expect that.
Let's see. Monkey Dick, Jim Jones, movies. Hit that like button if you have not already, and many of you have not, so that's your cue to go ahead and do so. And share our stuff.
Hit the like button, damn it.
Share our stuff on Facebook so that Cambridge Analytica will get it too.
That hearing was so hard to watch.
Oh my God. Man, well, we'll cover that for sure.
It was an important hearing.
It was important, I suppose.
It was important.
But let's see. Unless there's anything else.
Is that why Mark Zuckerberg's trending on Twitter right now?
Yes, he was in front of the Senate today.
Ooh.
Yeah, he was doing his best at pretending to be a human being. But before we get there, there's some breaking-ish news. I'm not sure about this because part of the headline makes me think CNN is just sort of speculating again or wishful thinking again, but I don't know. Trump considering firing Rosenstein to check Mueller. Now, there's been several stories out of CNN today about how Trump, and again, I don't know the accuracy of this, I've just seen the headlines, that Trump thinks he can fire Mueller, but he doesn't seem to know that he can't. Well, he can't directly. So let me explain it for those in the cheap seats, because we've done this several times now. The special counsel can be fired by the attorney general. Now, Jeff Sessions, the Attorney General, recused himself from the Russia investigation because there is some indication that he would be involved in it, perhaps, or could be. So he removed himself. So then the power over the council dissolved down to the Deputy Attorney General, who is Rod Rosenstein. Now, Rosenstein's the only one that could conceivably fire Mueller directly. However, Trump could fire Sessions, thus firing Rosenstein as a consequence, hire in a new attorney general who is, amenable to Trump's whims, and tell the new attorney general to fire Mueller. Mm-hmm. He could do that. None of that is either illegal or unconstitutional. Is it politically wise? Probably not. But people saying that Trump can't fire Mueller, they're right, technically. But when people say that him firing Mueller or setting up the circumstances to fire Mueller would be some kind of impeachable offense or some crime against humanity or something, they're not correct in saying that. I mean, the Democrats could try to make that into an impeachable offense or list that on some kind of charge or something or make some big hay out of it. But none of that would be unconstitutional or against the law, just so we're clear on that. So that being said, President Donald Trump is considering firing Deputy Attorney General Rod Rosenstein. Multiple people familiar with the discussions tell CNN. A move that has gained urgency following the raid of the office of the president's personal lawyer, which is a whole other mystery right now. Such an action, and again, this is just CNN speculating, such an action could potentially further Trump's goal of trying to put greater limits on special counsel Robert Mueller. This is one of several options, including going so far as to fire Attorney General Jeff Sessions. Trump is weighing in the aftermath of the FBI's decision Monday to raid the office of Michael Cohen, the president's personal lawyer and longtime confidant. Officials say if Trump acts, Rosenstein is his most likely target, but it's unclear whether even such a dramatic firing like this would be enough to satisfy the president. Well, if he fires Rosenstein, that still doesn't mean he can fire Mueller, because Sessions would have to fire Mueller or whomever replaced Rosenstein.
Deputy AG would have to do it.
Yeah. So anyway, this is a long way of saying CNN is just speculating on what might or might not happen because of rumors and things that people are saying.
CNN has done this repeatedly.
Yes, they've been doing it all day. I thought this was something more substantive, but it's not.
Not just all day. They've been doing it since Mueller was announced.
Yeah.
It's been Trump is going to fire all. There's a much easier way if Trump wanted to do that. All he'd have to do is pardon everybody involved. He has that power, y'all.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, it's stupid for them to keep speculating on this because there's been no indication. Yes, Trump had a lot of turnovers in his cabinet. Mm-hmm. I could see him firing Sessions just because he doesn't like Sessions, but there's no indication he would do it to affect the investigation at all. There's none.
Yeah, and like I said, I thought this might be something more because when it says considering, I thought there was some kind of official word. Yeah, of course, there's not. It's just rumors. Well, a broken clock's right at least twice a day. So
true.
Let's see.
When they were talking about, the lawyer and the FBI raid or whatever, apparently they were saying that he was. Like the reason that he was being raided or whatever was for like some money fraud or whatever. Not specifically including the Stormy Daniels thing, but like some other shit. Is what Philip DeFranco was saying.
Yeah, I've heard that they were specifically looking for information on Karen McDougal, the Playboy Playmate, and Stormy Daniels. And I'm still in the dark. And I'm more than happy to be educated on what they're doing, but I'm still in the dark as to how whatever's going on there constitutes a federal crime the FBI would be interested in. I don't know what that is yet. And some like money laundering or something.
You know what it would be, and I guarantee you it would be a wire fraud.
That's the only thing I could think of. I'm just wondering what kind of fraud it is. If it's like I'm giving somebody money to pay them off. Is that fraud? How did that become fraud? I guess is the question. I don't know. So anyway, we'll maybe find out someday. Let's see. Oh, it's Ducky's birthday today.
It's Ducky's birthday, and it says, "I hope you feel okay today. It's my birthday. I hope you had a great birthday, Ducky." And in that vein, Ducky, are you out there? Are you listening? This one's for you. And a 1 and a 2. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday.
Ducky.
Please make it stop.
Happy birthday.
I hate you for being born.
Happy birthday, Ducky. I really do hope you had a great day.
Let's see.
And so do these guys, even if they don't say it.
Before I lose my voice, last night singing like a demon actually made it difficult for my throat to be happy for the rest of the evening. So
what? Skip talk. That's horrible. He said that's worse than usual.
Worse than usual?
That's right.
I don't think we have a usual.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
I bet
I've been making.
If you lined up all of our singing into one long song, it would sound schizophrenic.
All right. So the other thing that was interesting as I was getting news stories this evening, I was went on CNN's homepage, and of course they're all Trump. But I was looking for the latest on Syria. So I went into my browser and I did Control F to find Syria. The word Syria did not appear anywhere on CNN's front page.
Which is weird.
Not even the under, like the little mentions and things down at the, nowhere. And so I found that very interesting. But I did find, through Google otherwise, the latest and greatest. Nikki Haley, says Russia chose protecting a monster over the Syrian people. Russia vetoed a U.S. draft resolution at the UN Security Council Tuesday that would have established an independent investigation into the suspected use of chemical weapons in Syria. The U.S. draft condemned the suspected attack by the Assad regime on Douma, demanded immediate access for humanitarian workers to the region, and called for an inquiry. Quote, when the people of Douma, along with the rest of the international community, looked to the council to act, one country stood in the way. History will record that, U.S. Ambassador to the UN Nikki Haley said. History will record that on this day, Russia chose protecting a monster over the lives of the Syrian people. Russia has trashed the credibility of the council, she added. Swedish Ambassador Olaf Skog, that's a great name, Olaf Skog, called Russia's veto a tragic déjà vu. Because in November, Russia blocked the renewal of the independent panel investigating chemical weapons in Syria, and British Ambassador Karen Pierce reminded the council that Tuesday's vote marked Russia's 6th veto related to chemical weapons in Syria. And thank you, Diesel Dave. If the bank asked what he needed the loan for, and he lied, that's when it become fraud.
Sure.
Okay. Is that a federal crime? Well, I guess it is a bank. Okay, federal. Yeah, okay, all right. Okay. Legit, maybe. I'm not a lawyer. I don't know. I'll take your word for it. And thank you, Sanguine. Someone figure out what the hell sounds like find all their happy birthdays and layer the audio so they all play at once. Oh, God.
Oh, dear Lord.
Wow. Are you trying to kill someone?
No, he's trying to up the stock of the hearing aid company that he owns, No,
that's going to be that's Russia's new chemical attack.
birthday singing from Lords of the Night, the new Russian attack. 7 nations, including the U.S., voted against a Russian resolution that would have set up an investigation overseen by the Security Council. Blah, 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 blah. We're still waiting. Trump said yesterday that between yesterday and sometime today, he was going to announce their action plan for Syria or take action. So I'm half waiting for that to happen. It hasn't happened yet.
If there's a lot of talk about actual war going on.
Yes. Yeah.
If that's the case, yeah, it would be. They're going to do it at night like they did before. It would be coming soon if they were doing it tonight. But yeah, I'm wondering if he's being quiet because that is something that's, in the works.
Well, I should, and now this isn't from CNN or anything, but there have been several news reports in the last couple hours. And I tweeted this out earlier, but this comes from The Spectator. European Air Navigation Security Organization warns airlines in the Eastern Mediterranean to take precautions amid possible military action on Syria.
Whoa.
Yep.
What else? Yeah, so that was as of an hour ago. There's been other little blurps from them showing what Syrian airspace is at the moment. Like there's a map showing like sort of a GPS thing of all the planes in the airspace around the Mediterranean. Mm-hmm. And the space around Syria is completely empty. It's yeah. So like I say, I'm going to keep refreshing CNN and keeping an eye on things. It's possible something could happen tonight, and could happen over the course of this stream. And it wouldn't be the first time that we've broken news on Syria live on the air. So we'll wait and see. In the meantime, the other big story of today, and also part of the title of tonight's stream, is Facebook.
Yay! It's important, y'all.
Yeah, data from Star Trek was wheeled out before the Senate today. My God, that guy looks like he looks like a Uncanny Valley CGI character.
Yeah, he does.
It's really creepy. I don't understand it, but anyway. Zuckerberg confirms Facebook is working with special counsel Robert Mueller's investigation. That's the headline. I'm sure they'll talk about other things. Facebook CEO Mark Zuckerberg confirmed Tuesday that his company is cooperating with special counsel Robert Mueller in its investigation into Russian meddling, Scooby-Dooby-Doo, in the 2016 election. When asked by Democratic Senator Patrick Leahy while he testified on Capitol Hill whether Facebook had been served subpoenas for the special counsel, Zuckerberg responded yes, but later clarified, "I am actually not aware of a subpoena. I'm aware that there may be, but we are working with them." What? God,
weird clarification.
Yes, there are subpoenas. Well, I'm not aware of a subpoena, but if there may be, and we are working with them. When asked if his employees had been interviewed, he also responded yes, but added, "I have not." Okay. He continued, you're being interviewed right now, by the way. Just so you know, Mark. He continued, quote, "I want to be careful here because our work with the special counsel is confidential, and I want to make sure that in an open session, I'm not revealing something that is confidential." His appearance at a joint hearing of the Senate Commerce and Judiciary Committees marks the first time that Zuckerberg has testified before Congress. The hearings come nearly a month after news broke that Cambridge Analytica, a data firm with ties to President Donald Trump's campaign, accessed information from as many as 87 million Facebook users without their knowledge. I know he said more than this, but this story is not telling us that, so I'm going to find a bit more.
Is it really necessary for them to mention every time that it has ties to Donald Trump's campaign?
Like, yeah, especially when they don't clarify that.
Yeah, what does that mean? Ties?
Yeah, like what does it mean? I don't
know. Okay, so this is a different. Why can't we have this like a comprehensive story? Oh, this one's written by Chris Cillizza. Oh, goody. Oh, goody. This comes from The Point with Chris Cillizza. All right, so the headline reads, "How the Senate's Tech Illiteracy Saved Mark Zuckerberg." Okay. All the coverage leading up to Mark Zuckerberg's first of 2 days of congressional testimony on Tuesday suggested he was in for a real grilling. The rare Washington appearance comes as the Facebook CEO's company finds itself in the midst of massive questions about data privacy and its broader role in American life. Turns out it was more of a lightish roasting, thanks in part to the fact that the vast majority of the senators tasked with questioning Zuckerberg simply lacked anything beyond a surface understanding of what it is Facebook actually does. It was, to be blunt, like watching your grandfather try to understand how they got the internet onto your new MacBook Pro, or asking Ted Williams about whether you put your right hand or your left hand on top when you swing a bat. Har, har, har. Here's one example. Orrin Hatch. How do you sustain a business model in which users don't pay for your service? Zuckerberg. Senator, we run ads. Oh, Orrin. I mean, seriously, Orrin.
Well, there was an actual good line of questioning that I saw, and I can't remember who it was related to that. It wasn't that exchange. But somebody asked him, okay, look, you say that privacy is the most important thing to you, but you also tell us that the way you get ads is by basically not selling privacy, but using the information of these people to target ads, you know? And they're like, so when it comes down to it, are you going to side with privacy or with making your money? Because as a CEO of a publicly traded company, you have a legal obligation to make as much money for your shareholders as you can.
Right.
And Zuckerberg, he dodged that one very well. That's an important question, Senator.
Yeah.
Him and his important fucking questions. But there were some that I watched and I was like, yeah, this old fucker should not be asking questions right now because you have no idea what you're talking about. One guy, I use Facebook and so does my daughter. No one cares, jackass. What?
Yeah. No,
Anyhow,
I always love it when someone is asked a direct question about something and they respond with something to the effect of, well, that's a great question. Or that's a very good question. Or that's an interesting question. You know, it's whatever they can do to sort of like first put a little wedge in actually answering it and then divert themselves off somewhere else. It's a common tactic. It always pisses me off.
There were just so many times where he kept going, that's an interesting question, Senator. Like, fuck off.
Chris Saliza wrote like a page of text. And that was his, he gets paid for this. So
in his defense in this one, he's not wrong. I think the questions would have been much better had they had somebody in there with some tech savvy.
Oh, I'm not disagreeing with that. I'm just saying that the actual amount of effort that went into this content is just impressive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think we learned anything from this.
No, we're not.
I mean, I do like we don't sell information, Senator. Come on. It's basically your job. Fuck off.
So you just gave the information to this data company, then?
Oh no! Did you watch any of this hearing?
No, I'm just kind of being sarcastic about it because like we don't make any money off of selling information. Like,
his answer to that is fucking retarded. He it's not Facebook's fault. It's really not. What happened was an app that you agreed to use, by the way. You agreed to that app's terms of service. Started collecting this data, which, by the way, you agreed to give them. And it's an important question, Senator. Facebook has no real issue. It's not their fault because you agreed to the terms of service of this other place. And even though they broke their agreement with Facebook, it's not Facebook's doing it all. It's all the other company.
Okay. So it shouldn't be Zuckerberg there. It should be Cambridge Analytica before Congress right now.
Indeed, yes. And for the record, you agreed to give these people your information in case you missed that part.
Right. Remember, it's all the user's fault.
You agreed.
Yeah. Let's see. Like I said, I'm going to keep CNN window open on the off chance that something kooky happens. But another news.
There was real quick. There is one more part that is important that needs brought up.
Sure.
He did say something to the effect that Facebook is responsible for what's on their platform, which is a weird thing to say. Because so far, most tech companies like, look, we're not responsible for what's on our platform. And he basically went, we're responsible for what's on our platform, which, by the way, will open them up to so many lawsuits.
We're responsible for what's on our platform.
Yeah.
So if I post something inflammatory or terroristic or something on Facebook, Facebook is responsible for what's on their platform?
That's why this is weird. Everybody's always taken the approach that this is we offer this and people can use it, but we're not responsible for what's on there. And I wish I had the direct quote in front of me, but yeah, Academic Cubs says so Facebook is waiving their immunity. The way he worded it, basically, yes.
See, but here's the thing. I mean, if a message board site says that, we have moderators, but we can't control what people put on there, and we can't take, one stance or another if somebody decides to put something up there that somebody disagrees with. I mean, that is a reasonable sort of insulation for a company. I don't have a problem with that because, people are going to be people.
Yeah, indeed.
In the spirit of it, I don't have a problem with Facebook having that amount of insulation. Like, we'll catch the things we can catch, and otherwise, people are free to say what they're going to say.
Absolutely.
But yeah, for him to make that statement, which I don't think is legally binding necessarily, but does raise some questions about Zuckerberg's, I don't know,
he
sanity.
Did try to walk it back some, but just making a statement like that. And again, I wish I had the direct quote in front of me. You can find it if you search the hashtag Zuckerberg, because I know several people tweeted about it right as he said it. Like, is he fucking crazy?
Thank you, Sanguine. So Facebook is responsible for the kitty diddlers and the other streamed crimes. Guess so.
I really wish one of them had the balls to ask him about the kitty diddling video or question.
Yeah, or the survey
question.
Monkey, let it go, man. Nobody cares about it.
No. This is
Monkey's on a crusade.
He's up there. This is okay. Real quick, that was the one you did. Okay.
Yes.
He's up there and actually talking about how much they're trying really hard to make sure that nobody interferes with elections, and not just ours, around the world, by the way. And that's fine. I don't care. But to the point now that advertisers on Facebook, if you're going to advertise on there, you have to have a U.S. address, because they're going to do similar to what AdSense does. If you want to use AdSense in order to actually turn it all on, they mail you a code that you have to put in.
Yep.
Facebook is going to start doing that to their advertisers.
Okay.
Meanwhile, Facebook's own employees are asking if it's okay to get pictures from little girls. Fuck off. That is a far bigger problem.
So Facebook wants to try to stop election meddling in other parts of the world.
Yes.
Okay. So Facebook is going to shut down the CIA.
Well, the CIA, like say it's an election in Russia, they're going to have a Russian address, apparently.
Right. No, I understand. I mean, at least through their platform. I was just making a joke. Never mind. All right. Well,
that is not nearly as important as the fact that you're obviously employing some kitty diddlers.
All right. Well, tomorrow will be the second day of his testimony, and hopefully whoever's asking him questions tomorrow will have read the responses to today's testimony and get a clue as to what they should be asking. We'll see.
Well, Monkey, meddling trumps diddling.
Can't believe that's the big story. Oh, somebody got some information. You have kitty diddlers, fuckface.
So one other story I wanted to bring up, just because I was kind of taken aback by this today. T.J. Miller, who honestly, I only knew who T.J. Miller was after the Deadpool movie. I'd never heard of him before that. But
that's where I know him from. Okay, yeah, thank you.
Yeah, T.J. Miller arrested by the FBI for bomb threat.
Oh, yeah.
When I saw this today, I was like, these words don't fit together. Is this real? It was coming from BuzzFeed at the time. I was like, but no, it happened. Former Silicon Valley star Todd Joseph T.J. Miller. Sorry?
Monkey said he'll be right back.
Oh, okay. T.J. Miller is facing a federal charge that he allegedly called in a fake bomb threat from an Amtrak train. Miller was arrested Monday night at LaGuardia Airport in Queens, New York. The 36-year-old actor, 36, God, I feel old now. The 36-year-old actor is accused of, quote, intentionally conveying to law enforcement false information about an explosive device. He appeared before U.S. District Judge Jeffrey A. Meyer in New Haven, Connecticut on Tuesday and was released on a $100,000 bond. The charge carries a maximum sentence of 5 years in prison, which I doubt he will get, but according to a Department of Justice press release, Miller called a 911 dispatcher in New Jersey on March 18th and reported that he was on an Amtrak train 2256 traveling from Washington, D.C. toward Penn Station in New York City with a female passenger who, he said, had a bomb in her bag. Amtrak officials stopped train 2256 at Greens Farm Station in Westport, Connecticut. Passengers were told to detrain before bomb squad members boarded and searched the train. No evidence of any explosive device or materials was detected. An investigator then called Miller back, according to the DOJ press release, and he gave a different description of the woman. Miller is alleged to have also claimed the woman, quote, kept checking her bag without taking anything out, kept asking the first-class attendant what the next stop was, and seemed to want to get off the train and leave her bag behind. Miller was found to actually have been traveling on Amtrak train 2258, not 2256, and that train was also searched and found to have no explosive device. DOJ officials added that Amtrak officers interviewed an attendant from the first-class car where the actor had been sitting, and they were told Miller appeared to be intoxicated and had been involved in, quote, hostile exchanges with a woman who was sitting in a different row from him in the first-class car. He has not yet commented publicly.
Hilarious.
I don't think he's going to get 5 years. I hope he gets something.
Yeah, that just when I read that, I was like, dude, really? Okay. I mean, I've never been mad enough at a person to like call the police and dredge up like a bomb threat.
I was trying to think what's the dumbest thing or like most outside of my own morals, let's say, thing I've done while I was drunk. Nothing even approaches calling in a fake bomb threat on a train. I don't understand, even if you're drunk, how that even occurs to you to do, you know?
I mean, maybe because of what's been happening recently, and he's just like, this will be a good idea.
Well, I hope he gets some.
You think to him it was a joke?
Well, from the way that they were explaining like his explanations and how he was like, just like providing more and more kind of false evidence to try to prove that it was real. Like, I think he was just fucked up. Like, he was that drunk. That's what I'm thinking. Like, he was really fucked. Yeah.
But what I mean is, I've said or done things that I would usually keep in my head when I was drunk. They just seem funnier to me. And with him being and I'm using air quotes, comedian, I do wonder if that's how it started, and then he just tried, covering his ass, like, fuck you, bitch, watch this, kind of thing.
I don't know. You really have to take a complete leave of your senses to go through the effort and the detail of calling 911. Telling them that there's a lady on the train who's looking into her bag and checking this and doing that and all these suspicious things, and she's got a bomb, etc. Like I say, maybe he thought he was just getting revenge. He was going to swat her basically for some reason. But it just doesn't make any sense, even drunk sense. I don't get it.
Well, that's the other part, because he claims he only had one drink. What do they have on trains? They're not stewardesses, are they?
Attendants, I don't know, something like that.
Yeah, the attendant
ushers,
listed
whatever.
4 drinks. Even at 4 drinks, that's not fucked up enough to do that. This dude was high off his ass.
Yeah, he was on something else. But still, I don't know. Either way,
and I do hope something happens to him, because that's not cool.
Yeah, 2 different trains had to be stopped and searched, and people taken off, and the whole 9 yards. And in this day and age, sorry, TJ Deadpool, he should at least pay a fine. I don't know if sending him to 5 years in a federal prison makes a whole lot of sense. But
no, he doesn't deserve that.
you know,
A fine, community service. He should definitely pay for all of the lost revenue. I have no problem with that.
sure.
And the law enforcement that went into it. And he kind of bought that, in my opinion.
Yeah, he bought a bomb threat investigation. So there you go. But yeah, I just threw that in there because that was one of the stories that popped up today that I was just kind of like, what?
Yeah.
Just like, really?
What the fuck was he thinking?
Do you guys know of any other big news stories, or shall we move on to the wonderful world of MSS news?
No, honestly, the only thing I am waiting to see what happens with Syria. I think that's going to be the big news.
Yeah.
And Robo Zuckerberg was kind of funny, but
Robo-Berg.
So weird. I mean, I tweeted out pictures of him and then the robot from iRobot, and it's amazing how similar they look. But anyway, guys, if you have news stories you'd like us to read on the air, please send them to us via the hashtag on Twitter of MSS News. Can't promise to get to them all, but we'll look at as many as we can.
BG says have him do an anti-swatting PSA for.
There you go.
Dipshit. Yeah, that wouldn't be bad.
Okay, so a lot of people sent us the TJ Miller story. Thank you, guys. I'm going to scroll down a bit here till I get to something that looks familiar from yesterday.
TOS says, so nobody should go to jail for making a bomb threat. Well, technically, he didn't make a bomb threat.
Yeah, it was a false report.
Yeah, it was a false report. And I have no problem. Even if he goes to jail for a false report, I don't think it should be 5 years of prison.
Here we go. So this actually follows up on something I meant to bring up last night, but we got caught up in other things. The Simpsons.
Yay!
So this story comes from Raymond Lewis, but it's actually kind of a sideways take on it. So this is an essay on MSN titled "Why the Simpsons' Response to the Apu Controversy Was So Heartbreaking."
Well, fuck off.
Okay, I'm going to save this for deep topic time. I'm going to set that aside because that, I think, deserves a bit of a deeper conversation. Because, we should have a conversation about having a conversation about having a conversation about having a conversation. I hate the word conversation now, almost makes me cringe. It's so overused. And
No, Dennis Miller said it right on Twitter. He said, we have a real problem in this country with needing to have conversations.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Oh, God. This one comes from Shiogorath. Can you imagine what it's about?
Oh, dear God. I don't want to guess.
Well, let's see. First off, it's from April 8th. It's from April 8th, 2017.
Ooh, a year ago.
So I think maybe you got us an old one here, but I'll read a little bit of it anyway. Texas law prohibiting male masturbation moves closer to becoming law.
What?
Well, it was a year ago now, so we can probably find out if it actually did. I imagine it didn't. A proposed bill in Texas that would impose a fine for male masturbation is making its way through the state's legislature. I would love to be the cop that has to go around looking for that crime.
I will. Yeah, I'm not putting the cuffs on you. You do it yourself.
Yeah, well, I've got little cuffs just for your dick. House Bill 4260 called the Man's Right to Know Act. Is this fake? Is this a fake story? Seriously, is this like one of those news sites that's like fake? Because this sounds ridiculous, even if it is a year old. Okay, would punish male masturbation with a $100 fine and would require men who want Viagra to be subject to a rectal exam.
That sounds fake.
Okay, this is bullshit. I don't even care if it is real. It's too bullshit to, yeah. Moving on. What's this? This one comes from Froggy. Froggy. It's a Florida man story. When this playground opened, no one told the parents about the sex predator on staff. Oh, God. When a new playground popped up in the backyard of a storied LGBTQ community center in Wilton Manors, its directors hailed it as the first of its kind. Backed by corporate sponsors JetBlue and Kaboom, It was designed to be a safe space for same-sex couples and their children to play free from judgment or harassment, a statement to South Florida that, quote, "our families matter," as one board member told the Miami Herald in 2015. But the Pride Center at Equality Park, Jesus. The Pride Center at Equality Park had a secret known only to the director and his confidants. The janitor was a convicted sex predator. The man tasked with picking up trash throughout the campus and who even lent a hand setting up the playground raped an 11-year-old girl in North Miami Beach in 1995 and was sentenced to 10 years. The girl said he threatened to kill her if she told. The checkered past of the longtime employee became public only after the concerned father of a 7-year-old boy called on CEO Robert Boo, B-O-O, Robert Boo, Bob Boo, Babu.
Do you, boo?
He's Babu. Oh, that's awful. To act days later on March 19th, about 15 years after he joined the center, Clarence Charles Collins, 63, was fired. 14 days later, he was arrested for lying about where he had lived for the past 5 years, an apartment about 500 feet away from a daycare center.
Jesus.
And failing to re-register as a sexual predator when he moved to the Broward County city. Both are felonies. Well, throw him away.
You have a super chat. Then we need to get back to something.
Thank you, Sanguine. You non-binaries are safe. Susie is fucked, though. Yeah.
Apparently that the other story was real.
Oh, the Texas masturbation thing?
Yeah, we've had a couple of our Texas folks tell us it was real, and it was never meant to pass. It was supposed to be some
statement.
Yeah, about abortion, you know. Because not being allowed to masturbate is exactly the same as not using birth control.
Yeah. Oh boy, strippers.
I love strippers. What are they doing?
This one comes from Emperor W.R. Costin. Let's see. Strippers hold topless car wash fundraiser to benefit 2 cops injured in shootout at Rastafarian pot farm.
Oh, wow.
Good for them.
That sounds like the plot line to a cheesy Skin movie, which I'd be
Sounds
fine
like
with.
an 80s movie, actually.
Yeah. It's like stripper car wash.
Stripper car wash.
A group of strippers have held a topless car wash to benefit 2 cops who were injured in a shootout at a Rastafarian pot farm. The dancers at City Limits Showgirls raised $2,560 at the Saturday event in Marysville, California, to benefit Yuba County Sheriff's deputies Philip Bronson and Andrew Everhart. The 2 lawmen were injured last month after responding to a report of an employee acting erratically at a marijuana farm maintained by the Rastafarian Church. Okay. The suspect, identified as Mark Sanchez, has reportedly been pulling up plants on the farm and ran into a mobile home with a handgun when deputies arrived. They searched the trailer but could not find him until he popped out of hiding and shot both deputies, injuring them. Sanchez, a felon with a history of violent crime, surprise, surprise, was killed in the exchange of gunfire. Well, see, what we really needed was a restorative justice center.
Yes.
That would have cured everything. To show their support for the sheriff's department, the ladies at Showgirls volunteered to hold the topless car wash in the club's parking lot as a fundraiser for the injured men and their families. We're giving back to the community that we're a part of, bartender Anita Ashby told KCRA, and the more you tip, the better show you'll get. That's right.
You forgot
that is actually really cool, though.
You forgot the other part of the article. Dun, dun, dun. They were all white.
No!
But here's the problem with it. Where's that part?
Yeah. But here's the problem. All the strippers were too pale for television. I don't know, whatever. Anyway, yeah, that's sweet. Yay, strippers. What's this? Okay. Silvana sent us the story about the Black Lives Matter Facebook page being fake. We talked about that one last night. Okay, this one comes from Guillermo Salvage or Salvage. I don't know how to say that. I'm probably fucking that up. This sounds like something that might happen to you guys in Far Cry 5, so just be careful. Moose stomps man's foot after he kicks her.
He kicked a moose?
Anchorage, Alaska. A man was injured north of Anchorage after a moose that he had just kicked stomped his foot in return. KTVA-TV reported the man escaped major injuries in the encounter Thursday with the moose and her calf. Quote, it sounds like the moose were on a trail, and in this case, it sounds like the guy was trying to go through them. That's never a good idea. I'm not a biologist, but as a lifelong Alaskan, I would advise people not to go around kicking moose.
I got to say, I don't support animal cruelty, but you're kind of a badass if you kick a moose. And you're asking to get your ass kicked, which it seems you did, so everybody wins.
Quote, if you get into a kicking contest with a moose, guess who's going to win? Yeah. Don't fuck with mooses. Mooses can fucking kill you. Let's see. What is this? Okay. This one comes from senior staff reporter and chief Florida correspondent Colleen Bernier. As it loads up. 11 hurt when Florida mall thieves use firecrackers as distraction.
Oof.
They were watching like Home Alone or something, sounds like. It's like we're going to distract them with firecrackers. Police say 11 people were injured fleeing when jewelry store thieves set off firecrackers in a Florida mall to simulate gunshots. Okay. The Orange County Sheriff's Office says deputies arrived quickly at the Florida Mall near Orlando on Sunday after gunfire was reported. They quickly determined no shots were fired, but were instead firecrackers used as distraction in a jewelry store theft. 5 of the injured were taken to a hospital. Further details were not immediately available. And that's it. They don't tell us, like, did they catch the guys? Do they have any leads? Okay. There you go. So kind of like a stampede situation. People got injured in that process.
Yeah, not burned by the fireworks or anything.
Okay. What's this? Deputies tango. Oh, okay. This sounds like a smart person. This also comes from Colleen Bernier. I'm probably going to say this city name wrong, but Oviedo? Oviedo. I'm going to say Oviedo. Oviedo woman spreads urine all over police cruiser after arrest.
Wait. Spreads? Like, did she pee on it or did she have a jar of piss with her?
Well, this is what I'm wondering. She's already been arrested and then she spreads urine. Let's see. A 20-year-old Oviedo woman is accused of spreading her urine around the back seat of a police cruiser after she was arrested on drug possession. So she like wiggle her hips around as she peed.
She just fucking got her legs up on the ceiling, just fucking.
she's fountaining like in Las Vegas or something.
Like those lawn fucking.
Oh, God. Oviedo police said they received a call at 1:26 a.m. about a woman driving a red Mazda near Haggerty High School who was intoxicated. Police found McCall Leduc. That is a name. That is something you name a girl. McCall, McCall Leduc. McCall Leduc. Okay. Parents, don't do that. She was sitting on the curb near her car. Police said they found a bottle of vodka in the Mazda's front seat and a jar containing marijuana in the back seat. Leduc was taken into custody for possession of marijuana and possession of alcohol by someone under 21 years old, because she was 20. During the time of her arrest, Seminole County records show Leduc was on probation for a DUI in March. Police said when Leduc was placed into the backseat of the patrol vehicle, she slipped her handcuffs. When police opened the back door, they noticed she had urinated in the back seat and, quote, spread her urine all over the rear of my vehicle, according to the arrest report. Police said they had her get out of the vehicle, and as they were trying to resecure Leduc, she tried to pull away and tensed her body. Police placed Leduc against the vehicle in order to reapply the handcuffs. Okay, so she just pissed all over the back seat.
Good job, lady.
Good job. Yeah, that's real classy.
And then she fucking rolled around in it and spread it around like a fucking toddler.
Jesus Christ.
Let's see. Oh, there's you guys sent us so many stories. I feel bad. Like, okay, if we run out of deep topic stuff, we'll come back to MSS News. And Weibo sent me a dick pic.
Good job, Weibo.
Yeah, she sent me a picture of her meaty log. Thanks,
appreciate
Weibo.
it?
Oh, boy, I bet it was tasty. That's all I'll say. It's pronounced meese, good sir. Oh, Weibo DM'd me to correct me that the plural for moose is meese.
Is
And
it?
She told me and Satsu to tell you that.
Yeah, I don't think it is, but yeah. Anyway, so if you want to see Weibo's meaty log, you can just look up the hashtag MSS News. For those of you listening later on, you'll have to scroll down a bit, but it's there, just so you know.
Well, I've already sent you guys a video of it, so.
Oh, okay. Well, guys, thank you so much for the news stories. Like I say, if we have more time in a little bit, we'll read a few more. But now it is YouTube time. I'll save everybody some time and go first and say I didn't do anything today. So, Satsu, what did you do today?
Nothing. No, that's not true. I did a video on my 2 Cents Plus channel, and I recorded a video for my 2 Cents Plus channel that I will be uploading tomorrow about the two of the anime that came out that I'm excited about, and just kind of going on about the new episodes and kind of first episode review of those. But yeah, as far as my main channel goes, I was going to talk about the what was the there was a topic that I had that I was going to talk about today, but the people were doing construction like out in my hallway. So I'm just like, fuck it. So I recorded the audio and it's sitting, but I haven't edited it or anything yet. So that'll probably be coming out tomorrow. But yeah, that's it.
That reminds me, there's like oftentimes I'll end up having something that I want to like record on a Saturday morning. And every Saturday morning at the same time, and for some reason I always forget this is going to happen, and I get myself started, and in the middle of it, there's a guy with a leaf blower who's like hired to maintain the property or whatever just across the street from me, who always starts up and it reverberates straight into my room. And it doesn't matter what's going on outside. Okay, it doesn't matter if there's any leaves there. The guy shows up and just uses his leaf blower all over this parking lot. So most days he's just blowing nothing or rainwater around. Like, is that, I guess that's how he gets paid. He has to go out and just leaf blow even if there's no leaves.
I'm down with that.
I guess whatever works, I suppose. It just sometimes I get really frustrated. It's like, dude, and he goes on for like an hour and a half. It's like, oh my God. Anyway, that's just my bitching. Monkey, what were you up to today?
Nothing. I had Little Butt with me today, so I didn't even go near my computer till after 5.
Oh, did you play the birthday song?
Oh shit! No, I forgot. She's coming over tomorrow. I will do it for her then. Do it for her then. But yeah, she came over. We played Legos, and then she completely ignored me for my son's fiance. Ignored both of us, actually. We came downstairs at one point, and she's like, "Where's Grandma?" Grandma had to go into the office, and she looked at me again. She goes, "Where's Grandma?" She had to go in, honey. She's not here. And then she looked at me again. "Where's Grandma?" Like, I'm not hiding her, I promise. But she was very female centric today. She didn't. Me and her uncle. She wasn't mean to us. She just didn't care we were there. She wanted her aunt and her grandma. So
it was Girls' Day.
It was, and she's always taken more to girls than guys anyway. But it was so sad. I was like, "Aww. I haven't seen you in like a week, really." And she's just like, "Where's Grandma?"
Oh.
Yes, Jacob.
And
you
honestly,
need to watch that. Sorry, I had to answer Jacob.
Oh yeah, she just likes having me around. I need to be in case she needs me.
Right.
But she's far more clingy to like Lady Monkey. She's Lady Monkey's shadow.
Yeah, she needs a man there, just in case there's like a light bulb to screw in or something.
What we did, there's for any of you who are fans of the movie, Boss Baby or Baby Boss, what is it? Boss Baby?
Boss
Baby, yeah.
Netflix has a show of that now.
Oh no.
And it is so much better than the movie. If you watch Trolls and you like Trolls and you go watch the Netflix series, it's like, well, this isn't right. But if you watch the Boss Baby one, it actually kind of goes together. The animation style is the same, and it was a much better thing. So we watched that for a while, and then some Peppa, and then she made me watch Dora the Explorer for hours.
Man, you are a slave.
But that was my day, and then I went onto Twitter and fucked with people endlessly.
Wow. So YouTube drama.
Well, we have a few. Good night, sweetie. I love you.
Bye,
Welcome
Lady
home.
Monkey.
Hope you feel better. Her feet hurt. Anyway, couldn't be any worse than the movie. The movie grew on me after about the 60th viewing.
Jesus. That's called Stockholm Syndrome, Monkey.
It honestly, it could be a lot worse. It's not the worst kids movie I've ever seen. It's all right. But let's start with Ethan Klein from H3H3. Did you guys see what's going on with him?
No. What's new there?
He made a tweet, and he said, "My dick touched the inside of the toilet bowl. The only option is to cut it off." And then he made a joke, "Call me Ellen. My name is Ellen now." And this pissed off trans folks.
Oh no.
And when there's a trans person who's offended, you know Theron's going to be involved.
Ah, yes.
And she was. And she actually made the argument that she doesn't think what Ethan did was mean. He wasn't, trying to be mean to trans people. But there are mean people who don't like trans people, who be mean to trans people, who might see his joke and laugh at it.
So fucking what, bitch?
Yes, exactly. Like, so you can't make jokes because there might be an asshole out there.
Yeah, that's like pulling up on somebody and say, "Hey, dude, in a car accident, whose car's flipped over, you shouldn't crash because people think that's funny somewhere."
Yes,
like,
exactly.
What the fuck do you mean? So what? Oh, sorry.
But Ethan made a video about it. I didn't get to watch the whole thing, but he's talking he explains this was a public toilet, and if my dick touched the inside of a public toilet, I would cut it off right then and there. I would rip it off because that's disgusting. But I saw this with her, and I'm like, what the? Whether or not a joke is funny or allowable has nothing to do with who might laugh at it. Fuck off. And that's just stupid. The other big one was, did you guys see Jim's new video, Mr. Medicare?
Yes.
I haven't watched it yet.
Yeah, it's the third entry in the the guy who confesses over and over again to being a pedophile on streams. And none of this would have happened if Jim hadn't just accidentally stumbled on a stream 3 or 4 months ago or whatever it was.
Mm-hmm. Well, as we were finishing up last night, I went and checked my Twitter, and I had no, it was after I was done watching Satsu's video.
Real quick, thank you, Gregory Hurst. Every babysitter has yelled, "It's right behind you, you stupid bitch. Just look," at Dora the Explorer at some point.
Yeah. Dora's an idiot.
Anyway.
Anyway, somebody sent me they had a late night kumite last night with Ross and Jim on there.
Oh no, really? Both of them? Oh God.
Yes. And it was a shit show you might imagine it would be. Jim, and very understandably, just rips Ross up and down. Yeah. Tell him what a shitbag he is. Tell him he should kill himself. He should be put against a wall. And Ross is there just complaining that Jim took him out of context. Because
there's no context.
Ross is a self-admitted pedophile. He says he's not a child molester, but he's a pedophile. And he now works, he volunteers in an elementary school. And he doesn't see a problem with this. He really doesn't. And frankly, I think the FBI needs to be involved because really? But yeah, Jim was in rare form last night, and apparently they talked about it again today. I didn't pay any attention to that, but yeah, Jim just over and over just ripping this guy because he's a fucking moron. And again, if you're a pedophile, I don't care if you actually touch children or not. You don't belong around them.
Yeah.
You say, he talks about a virtuous pedophile, and it's the guy who wrote the Salon article from a year or two ago. And holds this guy up as some paragon of what pedophiles should be because he's a virtuous pedophile. There's no such thing. Fuck you. But yeah, if you really want to see some, it was actually hard to listen to at times because one, it's Ross and he's a moron anyway, and he's not the best speaker. Not that that's the most of his problems. But yeah, he just doesn't get why him working at a school would be a bad thing.
I just want to take a quick complete aside here because a couple of weird things have happened to me on Twitter today. It's not really drama per se. I just find it really odd. So as I tweeted out something just a few minutes ago just because I saw it come across and it was talking about get ready for new Han Solo merchandise for the new film. And I tweeted out, yeah, more merchandise that no one will buy. And because of that, a Twitter channel called Star Wars Videos has added me to their list.
Nice. What list?
Star Wars peeps.
Oh, okay.
I guess I'm a Star Wars peep now, a little bird that you made out of marshmallow. And the other thing is that, what was it? I'm trying to find it again. But when I tweeted out about how there wasn't the word Syria anywhere on Facebook. Oh, yeah. Some free Syria Twitter channel followed me.
Oh.
It just, and I have to assume there's like bots that are just grabbing these things and linking them together and all that. I just find it really kind of weird. But anyway, sorry, just random stuff. I don't know if it's drama or anything. It's kind of odd. But yeah, the Jim Ross thing is just. Wait, I say Jim Ross thing. I thought of the guy from the WWE, the announcer guy. But yeah, Jim comes across these characters just, you never would have heard of them before. The dark corners of the internet kind of stuff. And yeah, if everything that guy has said, if everything that guy has confessed to anybody who will ask, the guy doesn't know how to keep his mouth shut first and foremost, but if it's going to hopefully lead to him being kept away from children, I don't have a problem with him confessing like that. But just, he's creepy.
Part of what he says is, he's getting help. And they actually had a lot of fun with this because he's like, I'm getting help. And he makes it sound like him working in the school is like his therapy. And like, no, that is not anything any therapist would do. They would not take an admitted pedophile and put them around children.
Yeah, that is not the kind of exposure therapy we're talking about.
Yeah, that's just not how it works. But yeah, it's Ross' character. If the police are not looking at him, they really do need to be.
Yeah.
I had my own little Twitter dramas today.
Oh yeah, you did.
I got blocked by 2 fat bitches today. And I was only mean to one of them. Now, the one goes on this long screed, and she was the one I was kind of mean to. And I don't think I was that mean. But she goes on to this long screed about how the people who talk about how fat isn't good for you are just wrong. She tells us the BMI is wrong, which, for the record, the BMI is not perfect. It is a guideline, and it even says that. But the BMI is wrong. She says that the group in England that did the ad about how obesity can lead to cancer, that they were paid by a food company, I think it was. I can't remember. She blocked me. I can't read it all. But then she goes down and she goes, fat people deserve to live. And I responded that, yes, you deserve to live, but you're probably not going to for very long. And she blocked me over that. I also told her she should probably make sure her pallbearers don't skip leg day. And she blocked me.
Oh shit!
But then this other bitch, who I've fucked with a couple of times because she's a moron. She's what was the one? She was the one maybe a week ago. Was talking about how she made a tweet after arguing with a bunch of people online that she was going to go eat the dinner that her husband cooked for her, and then he's going to eat her pussy. I don't know if you guys saw that one. She's a fat, nasty bitch. Anyway, she said that fat people are constant, that if they aren't apologizing for being fat, then they are promoting being fat. And I'm like, nobody's ever said that to you, ever.
Nope. Not one person.
Yeah.
And my tweet literally says, no one has ever said that to you ever. Stop lying. And she blocked me for that. I was like, oh, stretching that skin has made it very thin.
Oh.
That's
well,
nice.
Yeah.
I like the response. Yeah.
Well, I didn't get mean to her until after she blocked me, because fuck that bitch. And again, I don't mind if people block me, but that seems so... I didn't even do anything yet. At least let me insult you before you block me. And then Hammer started, and I blame Hammer for this one.
Oh, yeah.
There's a YouTuber, I forget her name, I don't really care, who posted that if you send unsolicited dick pics, it's sexual harassment.
Oh, this is what's her first? I forget her first name, but Guido, the one that Satsu's had on a couple times.
Michelle. Yeah.
Michelle Guido. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, she's been on with you?
Yeah, I've had her on my channel twice now.
Oh, you might not want to tell her that you know me. She really don't like me right now.
Thank you, Cryptic. I've been in a club where two fat chicks made me the meat. That wasn't fun. Made me the meat. Lucky for me, they ran out of breath. War stories made me.
They would be dancing around him. He's the meat of a fat girl sandwich.
Oh, okay. I see. Okay, I was kind of. I thought that was maybe like an autocomplete thing or something. Lucky for me, they ran out of breath. War stories. Sounds awesome. Okay. Yeah, you got squished by two fat girls. All right.
And he's Asian, so he's probably small.
Yeah, or maybe now he is.
He is now. That's why Asians are so thin.
Significantly smaller than he was before.
These fat girls, yeah. You know, it's the female sumo wrestling team coming after him.
Anyway, I didn't really have a problem with her tweet. I think it's wrong. Sexual harassment. The harassment part of sexual harassment is still harassment. Mm-hmm. One dick pic, while fucking stupid. Guys, don't send dick pics. It's unless somebody goes, "Hey, can I see your dick?" Keep it to yourself. Nobody's going to send you a pussy shot because you sent them a dick pic without them asking.
Real quick, breaking-ish news. It's kind of a refinement of something I spoke about earlier. Eurocontrol warns airlines to exercise caution in Eastern Mediterranean due to possible launch of airstrikes into Syria in the next 72 hours.
Oh.
So that's just a little bit of a refinement of what I read earlier. That's not necessarily brand new, but on the off chance that little tidbit at the end there is something new. I'm still keeping an eye on BBC and CNN on the off chance something happens, but sorry, Monkey.
Real quick, I want to address what Pat said in chat. He said, I don't hate fat girls, just the nasty obese. I don't hate fat girls. I hate fat people who pretend that being fat is not a health risk.
Right.
I am overweight myself, and there's a reason I'm trying to lose weight is because I don't want my heart to explode on me. Whether we like it or not, being overweight does carry health risks, and if you're going to lie about that to people, then fuck you.
Yeah, my first reaction to seeing like a significantly obese fat person isn't hatred. It's more like I fear for your health.
Yeah.
And and different people have different circumstances. Like Monkey, it's harder for you to exercise to get that weight off, because of just your condition or something. So it's not like it's a sin to be fat unless you are choosing to do it and do nothing about it.
Or even worse, glorifying it like Tess Holiday.
Right. That's even worse. Glorify. I mean, putting it. When I see someone who is a parent of a young child, and they are ridiculously obese, and Granted, I see someone walking down the street. I can't necessarily know that they don't have some reason why they can't exercise, etc., whatever. But I just think you're putting that child's welfare in danger by not taking better care of yourself. If you have the ability to, even if it's difficult, you should improve your health for the sake of your child, if for no other reason, because that I don't want to say that being ridiculously fat is a form of child abuse, but it's in that same kind of like orbit of it. Thank you, Cryptic. To clarify, it was in Japan. I was more shocked.
Wait, these were fat Japanese women? I don't know if I've ever seen that.
I thought they only ate rice in Japan.
And sushi.
No, there are fat Japanese women.
I don't. I will never believe that.
Well, never mind.
Anyhow, yeah. The other one was this chick with the sexual harassment thing, and we got into a bit of an argument, which is, like I said, I didn't have much of a problem with hers, but this little white knight motherfucker comes in, and he actually starts. He says, "If you were sent something like this, how would you feel? Wouldn't you feel violated?" I'm like, violated over a fucking picture being sent to you? And I said to this guy, I'm like, hey, look, if you feel violated over a picture, you've had a very safe life, and you should probably be thankful for it.
Yeah.
And then he comes back and actually compares it to sexual assault.
Oh, fuck. Come on.
I'm like, what? No.
Well, words are violence, so pixels are punitive, I guess. I don't know.
We've said it. We've said it numerous times before. Especially, and I want to see something like this, like in a setting where people are, trying to come to terms with maybe some type of assault or whatever that that happened to them, and everybody's going around the circle and they're talking about their experiences and how terrible they were and how they felt, and the last person is just like, yeah, my experience was horrible. I understand you guys have been through it, but I feel like I had it much worse. A picture was sent to me, and
yes.
I just don't know how to handle it. And they're just going to all be like, bitch, what?
Well, that's like that lady who, I forget what her name was. This is a couple of years ago now, but she claimed she got PTSD from mean tweets.
Oh, yeah.
And or like Kurt Eichenwald, like, oh, I had a seizure because somebody sent me a GIF. It's like, oh, for fuck's sake.
Well, this guy actually said to me, it's his duty to protect women.
It's my duty to please that booty.
But luckily for him, it's a duty he can opt out of, because he also told me that he wasn't going to argue with me anymore. I'm like, I thought this was your duty. Right. You just not understand what that fucking word means.
Right.
But yeah, it's his duty. And that's when I realized he was a white knight. I don't use the term white knight very often. I really don't, because somebody coming to the defense of their friends is not a white knight. It's somebody being a friend. Mm-hmm. This guy, it's my duty. I'm like, oh my God, you're going to kill a woman one day, aren't you? Mm-hmm. This is the kind of guy who's going to sit around talking this bullshit. Because let's not forget, I did not engage this woman at all. I engaged him over the stupid shit he said, but he's protecting her from me. And this is the kind of guy who's going to be like, I stood up for you. Let me see them boobies. And she's not going to show him, and he's going to kill her. And that's why we need to stop male feminists. That's all I'm saying.
Right. That's you ungrateful bitch, after all I did for you.
It was my duty. Now it's your duty to give me them boobies. Yeah, booby duty.
Let's see. I did forget to mention one thing on my YouTube stuff. Tomorrow at, if I have the timing right, 2:30 p.m. Pacific time, 5:30 p.m. Eastern time, I will be on the Ghost Poo podcast.
Oh, cool.
And I'm going to spend some time there ahead of Lords of the Night. So, and now I hope to be there on time, but 2:30 is just pushing it as to when I get home from work on most days. So I'm going to try to get out a little early so I can be there on time. So that's my hope. If I'm a couple minutes late, that's why. But I'm going to be on there regardless. So I'll be there tomorrow with Bear and Drunken Uncle and Sinatra. Shall we talk about The Simpsons?
Sure, let's talk about The Simpsons.
I want to read this essay
ASA.
Yeah, this ASA.
ASA.
So this comes from MSN. It is written by it doesn't. Oh, Dana Schwartz, whoever Dana Schwartz is, from Entertainment Weekly, but it's getting posted on MSN because, you know, why not?
Sounds Jewish.
And again, the headline is "Why the Simpsons' Response to the Apu Controversy Was So Heartbreaking."
You know what? Sure. Before you go any further, I'm glad she said heartbreaking rather than problematic, because I would have just shot myself.
There you go. All right. In 2017, comedian Hari Kondabolu, I don't know how to say that, wrote and starred in a documentary called The Problem with Apu, in which he examined the cultural significance, says him, of the Simpsons character Apu Nahasampiba Petalan, the Quickie Mart's owner who speaks with a heavy stereotypical Indian accent and is voiced by Hank Azaria, a white man.
No.
Last night, The Simpsons offered its tepid reply. Tepid. I'd say biting, but that's me.
The scene pretty dead on to me.
Yeah, that wasn't tepid. That was staring at the camera, literally. The scene began with Marge reading a bedtime story to Lisa that had been neutered with social justice buzzwords. Quote, "What am I supposed to do?" Marge asks when Lisa complains. "It's hard to say," says Lisa, breaking the fourth wall and looking directly at the camera. A photo of Apu on the nightstand helped to make it very clear they were no longer talking about the fictional bedtime story. Quote, "Something that started decades ago and was applauded and inoffensive is now politically incorrect. What can you do? Some things will be dealt with at a later date," says Marge, also to the camera. "If at all," Lisa concludes. Here we go. There's something about the response that came across as not only tasteless, but viscerally unsatisfying. In his documentary, Kondabolu initiated the complex conversation about what it meant to have a white actor voicing an Indian character with a heavy caricatured accent during a time when there was little or no Indian representation in the media.
During a time,
okay.
It's not that time anymore, though, right? So why is that an important conversation?
I'm curious. Would it be better if the stereotypical cartoon character was played by an Indian?
Right. You know, same script, same lines, play up the accent at the end.
Well, what makes the accent stereotypical? Do Indian people not talk like that? Am I missing something? Because every Indian person I've known has an Indian accent. Is the accent itself stereotypical? Is that, or is it just like how strong
and how much damage has Groundskeeper Willie done?
Yeah.
Well, that, you know, Groundskeeper Willie, the little mafia guy, I forget him, the mayor,
Fat Tony.
The whole fucking cast, except for the Simpsons themselves, are fucking Even Ned is a fucking stereotype.
Okay, this isn't CNN and this isn't Chris Cillizza, but someone forgot to put a space in here, so I'm going to read it as it's written. As Kondabolu made clear in his film, Kondabolu made. The problem with Apu extends beyond a brown character voiced by a white actor. The problem was not just with The Simpsons, but with its viewers. The drunk idiots on the street who call any South Asian person Apu and who repeated, "Thank you, come again," as a mocking refrain. Yeah, that happens all the time.
I do it. If anybody is darker than, say, green tea, I make that comment to them.
Really?
No.
It's like a muscle reflex.
Oh, fucking people.
They didn't mean for it to happen, said actor Utkarash Ambudkar from Game Over Man. Game Over. Is that a movie or something? I don't know.
It's a show.
It's a show. Okay. In The Problem with Apu, quote, "We were just underrepresented. We didn't have any other representation in this country." And you know what? The Simpsons still wasn't it. That wasn't representation. That was caricature, just like every other character.
Unless you want to claim that as your...
Right. That creates a problem when the most popular show on television is showing mainstream America what an Indian is.
Yeah, because everybody knows that whatever you see on TV is the definitive version of that thing. Like,
especially a cartoon that satirizes everything.
Yeah, well, here's the thing. Like, this entire culture of outrage is fueled by 100% pretty much projection. And they're like, we're stupid enough to think that this is saying that this is Indian people personified. This right here is the representation of all your people. And if you ever meet an Indian person, this is how they're going to be. That's how dumb we are. So we must assume that the rest of the world is as stupid as we are.
Yep.
Oh, this is great. Kondabolu revealed a particularly eye-opening tidbit in his documentary about the origin of the Apu character. Originally, the character was nameless, just Clerk, and as writer Matt Reese had written in the margin of the script, definitely not Indian, because that was an obvious cliche. But during the table read, actor Hank Azaria used a heavy Indian accent for the single line, handing back Homer his change, and the room, almost entirely white men, laughed, and so the accent stayed. Almost entirely white men. Almost?
Well, you know, the other people don't count.
Yeah. And though he evolved, becoming one of the most sympathetic and intelligent Springfield residents, yes, Apu was born out of the joke of a convenience store worker being Indian man. How about being an Indian man? But anyway, being Indian man with an accent.
So I got another translation for you guys.
Yes.
So they acknowledge the fact that he has good character traits and became like a very, likable person within the Simpsons universe. Mm-hmm. But they only care about the color of his skin and his accent. So they're looking past all of his good attributes, because think about it. If you can say that, just the character itself, based on its accent and, the stereotype, and say that this defines the character, then the good traits that they have should also define the character. But no, they're just like, fuck the traits, fuck who he is. The fact that he sounds and looks Indian is the problem.
Well, no,
that's not racist.
Satsu. Yeah. Mostly white men laughed at this.
Yeah, and it's not about the content of a character. It never is. It's about the surface level features, and that says the most about a person.
Which we only care about is surface level shit.
Let's see. Last night's episode wasn't the first time The Simpsons misunderstood criticism surrounding Apu. Okay. In the 2015 episode, Much Apu About Something, Apu's nephew Jay, actually voiced by Ambudkar. Oh, the guy who was on the... Wait. Why would Ambudkar, who had such a problem with Apu, deign to put his voice to The Simpsons? Interesting. Apu's nephew Jay, actually voiced by Ambudkar, comments on Apu being a stereotype. His sentiments are punctuated by an Italian chef stereotype emerging from the kitchen, followed by a wife banging him on the head with a spoon. The point, a point often regurgitated by internet commenters, is that The Simpsons makes fun of everyone. And they're right.
Yeah, but brown people, you can make fun of everyone, just not these people.
Oh. But that argument only exists in a vacuum.
No, it doesn't.
One in which you consciously ignore South Asian people telling you how they've been constantly called Apu, how they've been mocked and belittled by classmates and strangers, their identity diminished to someone's idea of a funny accent.
Is that all it takes to diminish a person's identity?
I'm consciously ignoring South Asian people telling... I've never been told by a South Asian person that they've been called Apu or they hate it or anything else.
They haven't either. They haven't
never
either.
Happened.
One. Yeah. I mean, and if they have, it was one person. Like, just one person.
Oh, for fuck. Oh, here we go. Okay. There are plenty of portrayals of Italian Americans on screen. Yeah, they're mobsters. They're all mobsters, don't you know? They're all Guidos and they're the New Jersey Shore, right?
Assholes, fucking yeah. That's the first thing that comes to mind when you think of like an Italian.
Yeah. There are plenty of films of exclusively Italian-American actors, and there are mainstream films that win Academy Awards. Have you heard of Bollywood by any chance? Anyway, if a movie or television show has more than one Indian character, it would be considered an Indian show, niche at best, and realistically unlikely to get made. Tell me about Blackish, or what was that other one? Atlanta, or Rock, or all these other things where you've got all these characters. Is that a niche audience? Oh my God. Which is a point Aziz Ansari makes incredibly cogently in the episode of Master of None titled Indians on TV. I don't even know what any of that is, because I don't watch TV to begin with, so what do I know? But even the discussion of a show with more than one Indian actor feels like a moot point when the inclusion of even one Indian character still feels like a recent accomplishment. Feels. Okay.
All about them feels, man.
Anyway, this goes on for another like 2 pages, and it's just
moronic is what it is.
It's a non-issue. It is a non-issue. Thank you, Gregory Hurst. Fine, I won't call you a poo. I'll call you a pussy. Oh, God.
You know, I keep seeing this guy listed as a comedian, and so far I haven't seen that he can take a joke at all.
Oh, who, the documentary guy?
Yeah.
Hari Kondabolu?
This comedian.
I'd never heard of him before this whole thing came up.
It's amazing. It's almost like this is how he made a name for himself.
Yeah, by being a victim of a cartoon from 26 years ago or whatever the hell it is now, and that nobody had a problem with because that show is populated with caricatures of real people. And if anybody's taking those caricatures seriously, I think the problem's with you and not the show.
Oh, obviously it's the show, Scribe.
I mean, Chief Wiggum, Ralph. I mean, Ralph is obviously autistic, right? I bet my Wookiee. And Monkey, how dare you laugh at an autistic child, Monkey?
I'm mostly white, sorry.
Jesus Christ. Anyway, so that is the state of our world right now, guys. Speaking of the state of our world, anything new on the CNN machine? Nope, we're still stuck on Trump might be thinking about maybe firing Rosenstein, possibly.
Maybe.
Can we get a plague, man?
No, I don't want a plague. Thank you, ex-Bubba Hotep. This entire time, I am just singing the Quickie Mart song in my head. There you go. See, but now, and you should be ashamed of that. You should be ashamed of that because you're contributing to a stereotype cartoon character.
Well, I'm just gonna start going around and finding anybody with like deep accents, and I'm just gonna be like, "Yo, stop that shit! You're perpetuating a stereotype. I don't care if you just came from your country. Quit doing that shit over here. You're making other people feel bad."
What about
the argument
Krusty?
there? I'm sorry. The argument there is fucking retarded. And if you listen to it, what they say, it's so disjointed if you pay attention, because it's not just about the stereotype. Because they were smart enough to throw in there, oh, it's not just the accent, because they fucked up there, with the accent, but representation. This is all about getting more people hired as actors, which is fine. I have no problem with an Indian TV show. But if there were Indian TV shows on TV, would that make a poo fine? Either the character is okay as he is, and none of that other shit matters, or you should just focus on the character.
It would be horrible, because all those Indian people would be sounding like Indian people, and it would be like making fun of that, obviously, because they can't talk like themselves without it being hilarious to other people. And as long as somebody finds it funny, it's problematic.
Do you think that Hari Kondabolu has a sitcom pitch floating out there somewhere?
Yep, I do.
You think maybe that complaining about representation isn't just leveraging into some project of his that he wants to have made, and that he can turn this into a guilt trip for somebody to produce, like on Hulu or Netflix or something.
Well, you tell me. After Oscars So White, how many people of color were nominated for Oscars the next year?
Yeah.
I mean, it could just be a coincidence.
Coincidence? I think not. But anyway, guys, it's the bottom of the hour, so chat, it is your time. If you have questions, comments, conspiracy theories, complaints, ideas, musings, whimsy, anything that you'd like us to touch on, literally or figuratively, over the course of the next half hour, just put it into the chat. And if it's a question for us, please put enough question marks afterwards so we know it's for us.
Oh, I forgot to tell you guys.
Yes.
Do you remember me talking yesterday? Somebody was upset with me, told me I was irrelevant.
Yes.
The same person told me today, basically, I'm the reason blood sports exists. I made them popular.
And your irrelevancy?
Yes.
How did you do that?
Because I talked to and about those people, and that gave them exposure. I gave Andy Warski exposure.
So wait a sec. You talked about them, and that made them powerful after a fashion.
Yes.
So Andy Warski, or let's just say Kumite. Kumite is the modern Bloody Mary.
Yes.
Okay, so you look in a mirror and say Kumite 3 times, and then Takasa will yell at somebody.
Sure. No, apparently though, it has to be me.
Oh, it has to be you. You
Me specifically.
You're the voice of power.
I'm fucking awesome, man.
For blood sports.
So,
Monkey, why didn't you tell us you had this power?
I didn't know. Yeah.
Okay, so Monkey is actually the avatar of Haruman, the monkey god. He just doesn't know it. He's the high priest of the monkey god, the monkey king. And so, guys, just understand now, Monkey is a messiah.
I'm a kingmaker, yo.
Let's see. Backscan. Do you guys think Assad did the poison gas attack, or do you think someone is pinning it on him so we go to war with Syria? No idea.
You know, here's one thing. I saw a whole bunch of people on Twitter blaming all of this on the Jews. And I'm not kidding. That's not a joke. They all think that the Jews are tricking Trump into attacking Syria for them. I don't know why. I don't know why the Jews would want that. But I've never,
because destabilizing the Middle East has got such benefits for Israel.
Yeah, no shit. But I haven't seen anything that would suggest that it's not Assad. The attack, like the first attack that we saw, the one back in the Obama administration, if you actually watch the videos and stuff, these people have obviously been hit by something nasty. And there were conspiracy theories around that it was the rebels who did it to themselves. But then you have to start getting into, okay, where the hell did they get these weapons? I mean, this is chemical weapons. Yeah, you can make little bits of stuff in your garage if you know what you're doing. But for the most part, an attack like that, you need resources. And I haven't seen anything to suggest any other government has been involved. So yeah, I'm going to go with, I think it's Assad.
Thank you, Sanguine. Kingmaker Monkey. I think Minions needs a crown then.
You would think.
Chaos Eve says, when are you guys doing the 7 days community stream again?
Oh, we'll have to do that sometime soon here.
Yeah, I don't know when, but basically it's up to Monkey usually, because I'm pretty open or whatever. So whenever Monkey's free, usually that's when it happens.
Let's see. Sorry.
What are you doing Thursday afternoon?
Probably nothing.
I can do it Thursday if you want to.
I'm down.
Ms. Lim 1, and I'm assuming in reference to Apu, says, does that mean my natural German accent is offensive? Well, when you're here in America, Shaw.
if you're on TV doing it, then yeah, it's offensive to somebody somewhere. Therefore, it is a problem.
I mean, you just talking brings up the war, and we never want to talk about the war.
I feel like you're allowed to make fun of Germans no matter what.
Yeah, pretty much. Green Death says, has everyone hit that like button yet? Well, with 160 people watching and 84 likes, the answer is no.
That's like a 50% ratio. Come on, y'all. It's on Scribe's channel, but it still hurts my feelings.
The original Shroom says, who else is excited about the idea of the Foundation trilogy being done? And I assume you mean like as a movie or TV series or something. I like some of Asimov's stuff. I've not been impressed with how it's been translated to the screen most times. So it's not a bad thing. It might be a bad result. Let's see. What else we got, guys?
Wait, I got a shadow ban threat? What are you talking about?
What?
Shiogarath says, Monkey follows me on Twitter, surprisingly gets a shadow ban threat. Coincidence? Or did you get a shadow ban threat?
Weibo says, oh my God, guys, don't forget this Friday live stream, 5 p.m. Eastern, read through of the most horrible fan fiction ever written, My Immortal. Come watch the cringe. Okay, so that's on Weibo Jones's channel, I assume? There you go. Free plug for Weibo.
Plugging Weibo, it's what we do here.
Plugging Weibo. A new series on Hulu. Produced by Hari Kondabolu.
Plugging Weibo. It's not a porn.
She says Danka. Well, you spelled Danka wrong, unless that's like the Dutch way of saying it or writing it. I don't know. And Mining Freedom went completely German on the whole idea, butt plugging Weibo because it's German. No, Weibo does the plugging, says Weibo. Well, 53 feet of it.
Speaking of which, minding, now you can't give me shit because I can play Far Cry 5 too. Ha, fuck you.
Wah, wah.
He's giving me shit because I can't play. And like, you dick.
Oh, Jamil Joseph says, it's the worst Harry Potter fanfic, by the way. I don't know what good Harry Potter fanfic looks like because I've never read the Harry Potter books. I know I'm a communist, but thank you, Diesel Dave. How do you feel about convicted felons getting their gun rights back? Well, if they were
convicted of.
Depends on what they're convicted of. It depends on the state's laws on it because some can apply and they have to go depending on the state, they have to go through certain hoops to get their rights restored. Until that point, of course, if they don't have a firearm, it's illegal. I don't think necessarily someone's Second Amendment right should be completely disallowed to them so long as, depending on the laws, they meet whatever requirements the state requires.
Yeah, I'm not against them ever owning guns. And again, it depends, I'm trying to think of somebody who would get out of jail for a horrendous crime that I would think,
vehicular homicide.
Yeah, I wouldn't have a problem with that person owning a gun.
Or let's say vehicular manslaughter, because if vehicular homicide might be like a life sentence. But somebody commits like vehicular manslaughter, they get out of jail 7 years later. They're obviously a convicted felon. Is that a crime that would, by its nature, give someone pause for them owning a gun? Not immediately, let's say. Again, depends on the state, depends on the laws. Let's see, James Colley, what's better than getting a gold medal at Special Olympics? Ice cream. Har, har, har. That's offensive. Harry Kondabolu is coming after you. Let's see. What else we got?
Mining Freedom says, because he just said minding, not minding freedom. I told you I was only going to fuck with you one day calling you minding Hitler.
No, that's right.
You don't win that. Sorry. You can't beat me, boy. You're German. I'm American. It's history, man.
Dustin Churchman says, it's been 19 years since my conviction. Okay. Well, if check with your state laws. I don't know. I think it's a state by state thing as to whether or not they'll restore your gun rights. I don't know. Sylvana says she's sorry she's late. It's okay. Okay, renting monkey, says Data Wasteland. Are you for rent, monkey?
It depends on what you're trying to rent me for.
Are you a rent boy?
What's a rent boy?
Oh, you never heard of rentboy.com?
No.
That was the website. Oh, what was that politician? Oh, no. Or was it, was that preacher guy? There was some politician or something that got caught meeting up with some guy from rentboy.com. And it's basically this, male escort service kind of deal.
Oh, yeah. I'm not down for that.
I'm trying to remember who that was. It was this is a few years ago now. It was somebody like minorly famous, either in it was either one of those mega church guys or some politician. I forget what it was now. I'm sure somebody in the chat will remember. Let's see.
That will, you dirty bastards.
That's right. Thank you, Diesel Dave. 25 years here. Okay. Well, again, if your state or whatever else has a restore firearms petition you can undertake, go for it. I mean, if you get approved, there you go. Let's see. The original Shroom says, LA Times is proclaiming today Kids Equal Pay Day. For what? Raking the leaves? I don't know. Jim Gila says, Congress has mandated that each state have a process to restore gun rights, but did not allocate federal money for it. So states are left to find money out of their own budgets. Aha. Okay. Not all states allocate the money. Hate Camel says, Monkey, what is your opinion of the Brendan Fraser film Monkey Bone?
I've never seen it.
There's probably a reason, because it's awful. Ryan Walter says, why is it when good minority behaviors are copied, it's cultural appropriation, but when bad behaviors are copied, they are stereotypes?
What would be an example of a good one?
Like,
I mean, it's not called stereotyping. Sorry, I want to. Not that there's not,
Well, stereotypes aren't inherently good or bad. They're just, a good behavior would be, let's say, Native American folk dancing. Let's say.
Wouldn't that still be considered cultural appropriation, though? In today's climate?
Oh, you were just asking what's a good one.
Yeah, but he said it's. I see. And I'm sorry, I misunderstood the question.
Okay.
So it's stereotypes if it's bad. Oh, that's something I can't answer because my brain doesn't work that way.
Yeah. No, I mean I don't see. I see what he means.
Yes,
I don't think he's wrong. Yeah, I don't think he's wrong.
When they say, I guess, because like some of the things that I see, like Black people say, for example, on Facebook and shit, is like, Black women are strong and resilient, that type of shit, or Latino women take care of their kids like indefinitely, like no matter what their fucking children do, they got their kids back, like no matter what. And these things are like, that's the type of stuff they hold up, and they're like, oh, this is so good. I'm like, that's a stereotype, and you're celebrating it. So why is that one okay and the other ones aren't? They're like, oh, well, because we like those stereotypes. And I'm like, die.
Captain Bramble says, have any of you seen the movie Monkey Shines? I have, long time ago. It's a horror thriller kind of movie with a paraplegic or quadriplegic with a helper monkey, and the monkey ends up going like murderous and such.
I remember the cover art for the box.
Yeah, the poster art's got the little monkey with the symbols.
Yeah,
with the big scary grin on it. Yeah. Let's see.
Thoughts on Purple Rain as a movie? I love Purple Rain. It's a dumbass movie though. It's not a good movie.
No, it's a stupid movie, but the music's great.
Yeah, that movie was dumb as hell. It was just a long ass music video.
Yeah, it is. Kind of like Moonwalker.
Yeah.
Prospero says, does the chemical attack seem the least bit coincidental to you guys? We just had begun signaling withdrawal from that theater, and boom, surprise. Again, I mean, we could spend all day doing conspiracy theories about this, that, and the other thing. I don't know. I mean, it seems more complicated to me for someone to have staged this than it to be actually an attack. But, you know, unless or until somebody tells me otherwise, is Assad not the type of guy who would do this kind of thing to try to win his war? He's done a whole bunch of other horrible things. So,
if you're gonna do something like that when one of the powers is pulling out, seems like a good time to do it.
Yeah, I mean, the question always is, you know, when a crime happens, or a suspected crime happens, who benefits the most? So you tell me, if this was anything other than Assad doing it, who benefits the most from faking it, or falsely attributing it? Let's say. So if it wasn't Assad, you know, who benefits by framing Assad?
Scrappy says Assad has nothing to gain by this. Killing your enemies is a pretty good gain.
And especially if he thinks he's got the protection of Russia in the end, and that the UN can't do anything against him, which they can't because Russia will just veto it. So, I mean, you know. Dark Alile has a weird question. Monkey, if you woke up tomorrow and all your pain was gone, what would you do first?
I would tap Lady Monkey like it was my job.
Wait.
I would hurt myself. Well, no. It's not my job. It's my pleasure, my son.
It's your duty. It's your duty to please that.
There you go.
Yeah. Duty to please that booty.
That's right. That's Shaft, yo. That's from Shaft. You're damn right.
Damn right.
Joys of Sorrow. Lords of the Night. Who would win the fight? Godzilla versus Imperial Star Destroyer. The Star Destroyer.
Godzilla always wins. The Star Destroyers can never do anything right, despite how big they are.
Well, the Star Destroyer. No, the Star Destroyer could hit Godzilla from orbit. Godzilla cannot reach orbit.
Well, what they would
do? Reach orbit?
No.
He would do. Yeah, he would do. What about like a Mecha Godzilla?
No. He didn't say Mecha Godzilla. He said Godzilla.
I'm still going with Godzilla because I've seen how the Empire works, and they couldn't hit the broadside of a barn. No.
Okay. Well, the only qualification I would put on that is if it was Thrawn versus Godzilla in a Star Destroyer, Thrawn kicks his ass. BG says, Scribe Light, so you're saying you like the Shaft? No, I like Shaft, either Richard Roundtree or only grudgingly the Samuel L. Jackson movie. Just because it's complete cheese, but it's got a great cast. It's got like Samuel L. Jackson and the Christian John. I think John. Is it John Leguizamo? No, it's not John Leguizamo. Fuck, what's that guy's name? Shit, I forget what that guy's name is. Anyway, he plays Peoples in that movie, and I forget his.
Abu.
No, it wasn't Abu. Yeah.
Abu.
Let's see. Joyce Asara says Godzilla's atomic breath can reach space. Show me where that has happened from the ground to space. That Godzilla's done that. I'm glad to have an example thrown at me from the films or something, but that seems a bit out there from what I know of Godzilla.
Tell me where Star Destroyer's ever done anything right.
Read the Heir to the Empire books, and you'll see.
No. Those don't count.
Oh, fine. Faith is abdication of reason. Assad knows that using chemical weapons will only outrage the world and put everyone against him. He gains nothing and loses credibility. Does he?
The whole world already thinks he's done it.
Yeah. Terry Diamantis, when Syrians use chemical weapons, it's Assad Day for everyone. Oh.
The best part about that is if you haven't heard his voice, you got to hear his voice and read it while you're listening to his voice, because that's funnier.
Ryan Walters says, Godzilla Final Wars. Godzilla destroys a meteor headed towards the Earth. From the ground, he shoots his atomic breath into space and blows up a meteor. I'm not saying I disbelieve you. I just want to make sure that I'm understanding this. That the Star Destroyer in orbit and Godzilla on the Earth could actually contend with one another. Is what you're saying? Okay.
Mining Freedom says, "All right, I'm back. Was just taking a poo."
Wah wah wah.
And Scrappy just called us dumb. Scrappy, come on.
Because you are as dumb as the rest of the world. Oh well, if the rest, yeah, I suppose if you want to take like the combined intelligence of everyone on the planet, there's kind of a baseline. Then yeah, because aren't we part of the rest of the world?
Yes, and I'm smart as fuck, yo.
Yeah, so we're as dumb as it.
I'm not saying that it's definite Assad did this. I'm saying that there are advantages to him doing it. One, he's got Russia protecting him in the Security Council, and two, everybody already thinks he's done it, so it's not like there's a detriment there.
Cryptic says, "Get it right. It's God Gila."
Gila?
No, it's Gojira. Gojira. Godzilla. Okay, so BG says, "What is our favorite giant monster film?"
I'm not a big fan.
Yeah.
This reminds me of something that made me laugh, and I'm sorry to take us off topic for just a second. I saw I was scrolling through my phone looking at YouTube, and I saw the YouTube headline, "Rampage at Theaters," and my mind immediately went to, "Oh my God, there was a shooting." No, it's just the movie.
Giant monster movie.
I'm not a super fan of kaiju films, to be honest.
Yeah,
the
nothing
newest
comes
Ghostbusters.
I mean, yeah, there you go. Yeah, or just Ghostbusters. Just the first Ghostbusters. That's the best giant.
I'm not a monster fan, really.
Yeah, I don't hate them necessarily. It's just I'm not much of a connoisseur. Let's see what else we have. Ryan Walter says Gojira equals gorilla whale. Yeah, I remember hearing about that a long time ago. Let's see. Backscan says, "Would you rather do something cowardly and have the world think you are a hero, or do something heroic and have the world think you are a coward?" I think I could live with myself with the latter and not the former. Yeah, because one thing I do not do in life, I take neither credit nor blame for things I have not done. So
yeah, I'd rather everybody think I'm a coward, because I don't give a fuck what they think, and I wouldn't want to actually be a coward.
Right.
Shady Grin says Eight-Legged Freaks. That was a funny movie, but sure.
Oh,
okay,
God.
I guess my favorite giant monster movie is Them, the giant ants. Them from 1957 or whatever the hell it was.
Okay, in that vein, I would have to go with Attack of the Killer Tomatoes.
There you go. Jack Gunsky says best monster film, anything with Kevin Spacey. Wop wop. Let's see. XGC Scrappy says Russia has nothing to gain by pulling America back into a war with Russia. Do you know what Putin wants in the long run? He wants to be a superpower again. What better way to start a war and gather his allies to him? I don't know. Maybe. I mean, like I said, I could sit here and do conspiracy theories left, right, and center about how it was a false flag or it is real or what. I don't know. That's why they want to send in a team to look into it, to investigate. But Russia says no, so we won't know.
I'm curious, Scrappy. Who do you think is behind it?
Right. What's your theory?
Who does have something to gain from this?
Oh, read the one before that. Assad has nothing to gain by pulling America back in. Russia has nothing to gain by pulling America back in. Okay, so who does?
I feel like Scrappy might know exactly what happened.
Well, I mean, the players that we have at hand here. Okay, we got Russia, we got Syria. The rumors are that Israel is the one that conducted the airstrike the other day. And then you got America. So unless there's somebody else, do some strategy. So the rebels gassed themselves. So the rebels killed their own people to get America and the rest of the world to nuke Assad, figuratively.
Chemical weapons.
Yeah, where'd they get the chemical weapons? And if it came out that the rebels gassed their own people to try to instigate a war, how does that help the rebels' cause? Why is it worth the risk? I mean, setting aside the morality of gassing women and children in the first place just to instigate a war on your behalf. I'm not saying that, in the heartless hearts of people that wouldn't be an idea that comes up, but let's be pragmatic about it. If it was discovered that that's what you did to your own people, what does that do to your cause and to your own security? Let's see. Straight Sith Male says, more than likely we're going to enter another Cold War. It seems inevitable at this point. I don't think it's inevitable. It's the Cold War dealt with a lot of nuclear weapons, and the equation has changed quite a bit since the 60s and the 70s. Terry Diamante says, they might be rebels without a cause trying to get another movie made about them. Har, har. Data Wasteland says, they were stored all over. You should watch the last Black Pigeon Speaks. Okay. Well, okay.
Okay, wait. The theory is that they just came across some stored chemical weapons.
And just used them on their own people.
Okay. Look, if that's what you want to believe, that's fine. I take a less cynical view of the world.
Minions of Lou says, worth a risk if the options are assured defeat and crazy, but chance at survival. Most people go for crazy. Scribe Light. Again, you could just give me some evidence that they gassed their own people in a Hail Mary play to try to get America and everybody else to attack Assad, which we already were doing before this.
Yeah.
Which Trump did last time. I mean, was this the second time that they gassed themselves? Because we did this last year.
Some people think so, yes.
Okay. So every year they gas themselves hoping that it'll start a war.
Maybe this time he'll do it. Yeah.
Let's see. Shady Grin says, Scribelight, if the world was to end in 5 minutes and you were given the whole of humanity's attention, what would you say to them? Don't listen to me. Fuck your loved one. I don't know. It's just like 5 minutes left. It's like, I probably wouldn't be spending my last 5 minutes talking to people. I'd be like, well, if we're all going to die anyway, what does it matter what I say? Human history's gone. It literally doesn't matter.
I'll have 3 words to say.
Yes.
You caused this. and I'm going to just walk away.
Let's see. Ryan Walter says, if millennials found toxic gases, they'd probably gas themselves as a challenge. Do the sarin gas challenge. It's the new fad on YouTube. Hey, guys, look what we found buried in the desert. We're going to sniff it.
Fuck that.
Let's see. What about Iran, says Prospero? They have a dog in the fight. So Iran gasses the Syrian rebels to get America to attack Syria. And this helps Iran.
And I ran.
I'm so far away.
I just think it's great that a black guy started singing that song.
Yeah, there you go. I mean, I just want to say, like, I love trying to game out geopolitical stuffs and things. I mean, it's a fun mental exercise just to sort of guess what people are doing, or political things, or what this means and that means, that kind of thing. It's a fun mental exercise. It's not proof of anything, and you can go on forever about it. It just, like I say, guys, unless or until we have proof one way or the other, and it's completely out of my hands. Even if you convinced me, of one of these theories, what does it matter? It doesn't mean anything. It doesn't mean anything. And convincing me would create just as much evidence of your theory or another as nothing. So, and with that, we're at the top of the hour, guys. Time flies when you're talking conspiracy theories.
Indeed, it does.
Which is why all the best conspiracy theorists are so old. Hi, Monkey.
Hello.
Oh, so guys, thank you so much for coming out tonight. Thank you so much for the donations, everyone. Moderators, thanks for keeping an eye on things. You're the unsung heroes, even though most everybody here is relatively well behaved. Tomorrow night, per usual, will be on Monkey's channel. Also, look for me on the Ghost Poo podcast tomorrow afternoon. Thank you, Gregory Hurst. I ran gas Syrians in the library with lead pipe.
Well played.
Yes, Mr. Gaddafi in the conservatory with the gas attack. Let's see. Was that all I want to say? Yeah. Tomorrow night, Monkey's channel, same Lords of the Night time. And other than that, guys, we'll see you tomorrow. And your life, your lives make us sad. I'll get this closing correct somehow. Damn it. We have a format, and I am the format king, or at least the OCD king. Guys, your lives make us sad. We will see you tomorrow.
Bye, guys.
Fuck off.
Thank you, Satsu, for sticking to script.